Upstate Golf Guys, we're back again. Grip it, rip it, let it fly. We play to win, never lay up. That's the play. From tee to green, golfing every day. With RGB, scram. 518, Mikey and Anthony. Pin high dreams, feel the breeze. Fairways calling down the tees. Roll it smooth, the body's tight. Drip on the green, yeah, we're rolling right. Addicted to gold, we're on the dance floor. Tee it up once, then we want more. More swing and shine, we're keeping score. Tee it up once, then we want more. Hey, then we want more. Hey, then we want more. Early shots at Fair Park, rise and grind. Upstate crew locked in that perfect line. From sun swings to twilight fades. Upstate vibes, no charades. Anthony's on the mic, passion's pure. Golfing crew, that's the cure. Addicted to gold, we're on the dance floor. Hit that fade, then chase for more. For Upstate heart, we ride the score. Tee it up once, then we want more. Oh, then we want more. Oh, then we want more.
And welcome back to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast. Today's episode is a really fun one. I've been looking forward to it because we have a guest who's literally seen the golf swing from every angle imaginable all over the world. He's based out of Las Vegas, and he's been playing the game for over 20 years. He's traveled the world running golf schools, working with players of all levels, from everyday golfers to breaking 90, all the way up to professionals at the highest level. We're talking 29 countries, over 800 golf schools, countless swings, mistakes, and breakthroughs along the way. So this isn't just your local instructor. This is somebody who truly understands what actually works when it comes to improving your game. And today he's here to share it with us. Chris Howard, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my man. I mean, listen, first off, I have to start 800 schools in 29 countries. How did this whole journey begin for you?
So I mean, I started teaching golf like 20 years ago in Washington, D.C., and I've lived a few places, and I love traveling, first of all, and I kind of love the group instruction element because you have to be really on your toes, right? And then over time, I just kind of melded the idea of teaching in a group and traveling, and these golf schools started. I did my first one 10 years ago now in Florida, and it has caught on. I spend a lot of days on the road, so it's what I do now.
That's awesome. Now I see you sell out. I've seen your schedule up, on the Instagram. What is like a full field for you when you sell out? How many guys do you have with you in the group?
So all of my events, it used to just be me. It used to be a one-man show, but now I bring my director of instruction, Max Cooper, along with me to each one of my schools. He still plays professionally, D1 college player, stud, has a 59 on his record.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, right, very good. And he handles all my short game mechanic stuff, putting stuff, and does a big on-course portion. But right now my capacity is 8 players per school, and I work with everyone. We split into 2 groups. I do the full swing mechanics, driver, scoring wedges, all that stuff while he does.
Nice. So it's a group concept, but it's still a small group. So you have that, one-on-one with each player, I'm sure, and they get plenty of time with you.
Absolutely. So, I mean, one-on-one is critical in my events. I would never do one of those golf schools where I'm like presenting ideas and all that stuff. I personally don't even enjoy. There's geniuses, and a lot of them are my friends, but I don't like going to the PGA show and listening to, people presenting golf swing ideas. I personally need to hear the idea, set up with a launch monitor, mess around with the idea, see the idea. I need all that. I don't just want to hear. So I format my golf schools so that I am working. We'll present an idea to the group and say, all right, we're gonna work on getting more spin on lower shots, whatever we're gonna do, and then we just break down and work one-on-one with each player to make sure they can do it, because everyone's different and everyone needs that one-on-one instruction. Hitting a concept with a group per se is cool. I can look smart. I can look like I know more than you, but my golf schools, we care about results. We track results. We see handicap improvements. Every year I take 20 schools and I monitor all the players' results from when they start to 6 months after the school to see how much their handicaps drop, and everything's result driven. So I need that one-on-one to get those results.
That's awesome. So what is your biggest success story thus far? Man, what's the biggest drop of handicap that you've had? Give me a shout out.
This is by far, and I've done it once. Okay. So if anyone does my schools, this result's not typical. The average player that does my school and sticks with me through the follow-up program actually drops roughly 40% off their handicap at the end of it, which is huge. But I had a player in Portland 5 years ago, something like that, who had never broken 110, and he shot under par 2 months after the event.
Stop it. Wow,
Biggest
dude,
that when he showed me that scorecard, I was like, "You kidding me?" Like that one, I haven't gotten near that since. Right,
that's incredible.
That is not a typical result, but just to be able to say that one of my players has done that is
sure.
I'm looking for the next one.
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it just takes that one, one or two tips, and somebody's athletic, and they, you know what I mean? It hits, and there you go. You got it. You're just good at golf.
And that is exactly what happened with this guy. His short game wasn't that bad. The problem was he just had a horrid grip wrist matchup that left the club face wide open, and he hit this high moon ball. Like his 9-iron probably went like 70 yards, and just teaching him a function that worked between his grip and his wrist, and he had an overall decent swing. So once we fixed that club face, he's just hitting like lasers within 10 minutes. So it wasn't like I had to fix a whole bunch of stuff with that guy. It was just one massive misunderstanding about something in a golf swing that got fixed.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you tend to draw the higher handicaps, or you get golfers on both levels for the most part?
My golf schools are meant for the everyday golfer. You know, if you're a pure beginner, you're probably not ready for one of my golf schools, you know. But the way I formatted it, just because there's so much coming at you, and a beginner really needs their handheld, right? You know, I tell people it doesn't matter what your skill level is when you do one of my events. If I can give you a mechanic in a slow down mechanic, right? So if I could tell you, I just want you swinging from your hip to your hip, but I want you to feel this in your wrist. Let's exaggerate that. If you can do that for 8 minutes until I come back on your own, then you're going to be able to learn. If you're a player that, you know, needs me to hold your hand for 8 minutes, you know, and everybody needs a feel, right? I'm the most hands-on instructor you're going to find. Like, I will grab you, I will turn you, I will build the feel, anything we need. But, you know, after we build that feel, you got to be able to do it on your own. As long as you can handle that, you're going to be fine at one of my golf schools. And most people can.
Would you say you have 15 handicaps, got a decent stick, but, you know, he's just not really hitting doesn't have the right posture, doesn't have the right approach to the ball. He just has like an awkward swing. Are you going to totally try to change his swing, or just to like the correction, or just fix it, just tweak it a little bit, just to, you know, there's a few things.
Yeah, I'm a functions and matchups instructor, right? So I have a personal belief, and a lot of my friends are too. Like, you know, George Gankus is known for a movement that everyone sees, but he's a functions and matchup instructor. A lot of my friends are like that, right? There's a lot of ways to get the job done. Some coaches like rotary swing, some coaches like a more vertical swing. You know, all of those can work. So I'm not trying to change the DNA. When you're on my range, I ask you, what do you want the golf ball to do? That's the first question I ask every player. They say, oh man, I'd love to hit a draw. Well, what do you do now? Well, the ball goes really high and it falls off to the right. Okay, so if we look at your swing, this is why it's happening. This is the root cause of all of your issues. And then this is where we need to get you doing that. So let's take this movement that you do and exaggerate this. And the goal is in a golf school for the person to find that ball flight. So no, I'm never going to sit there and say, this is the way you have to swing a golf club. I'm going to say, this is what we need to fix if you want to get to the level you want to be at. This is the movement pattern, that will allow it to happen with what you have.
I like that, Chris. I really do, because I think there's just a lot of golfers out there that are afraid to go get lessons because they're like, dude, I don't want to totally change my swing. I know
Sure.
I don't have the proper swing plane, but I hit it good. I get the job done. Sure. That's kind of me in a way. I set a 15 handicap because that's me. I shoot in the mid 80s in competitive golf. That's what I'm on our golf week am tour. I'm 15 too. So that's everything to the hole. That's all the golf rules. It's like I know I see videos of me swinging, and I know it's not the greatest form, but I get it out there 250 every drive. It works for me, and but I know. I have tried actually like switching my swing up a few times, and it just doesn't feel right, man. It just doesn't feel natural to me.
No, yeah, that's feel versus real, and trying to make changes. I think if you're trying to change something, most players don't understand how far they have to exaggerate a feel to make a slight change, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell people and grab their club, I want you to feel this, and they're like, oh, I can't get there. You're never going to get there, right? It's just a feel.
Mm-hmm.
I got trashed online about 2 years ago on Instagram because I have a client in Vegas who gets massively stuck, right? And I gave him a feel where he felt like he was throwing his arms away from his body and just throwing the club head out in front. And everyone was like, oh my God, you're going to make that guy so over the top. That's so dumb. He, in 3 years of lessons, has never, ever had a path out to in recorded on a launch monitor. That feel can take him from 14 degrees into out to, 3 degrees into out, really pushing it. But, when he exaggerates it, everyone's like, oh, it's so horrible. But, I mean, that feel, and he thinks he's doing that in his golf swing. Doesn't even get close. But that's just, when we try and make changes and feel new things, we generally don't go far enough. I bet you when you're trying to make changes and you don't see anything,
right,
it's because of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, you've literally taught all over the world, Chris. What's some of the biggest differences between golfers in the U.S. and internationally, would you say?
You go to like Korea and Japan, those folks are so crazy about golf. You will be walking in an Uber, going down or a Grab. There you go, not an Uber. Let's get it correct for the region. And you will be going by a gas station, and you'll be seeing two dudes by their car rehearsing golf swings over there. I mean, last time I was in, I did 3 days in Japan, in Tokyo, and 3 days in Seoul, and I probably saw that happen like 9 times. They just love it over there. But golfers are golfers. We got addicted golfers in Australia, throughout Europe, throughout North America, Asia, South America. A golfer is a golfer,
Yeah, that's awesome though. Air swinging in between pumping gas. Let's go, man.
I think it's because they just don't care. Over here we're like, oh, this is gonna look so weird if I'm air swinging at the gas station. So
Well, I
Yeah.
actually, have. It's funny. We own convenience store. 52 years. I'm third generation. We're in a state office building, but
Yeah.
I have a 2-iron that I keep behind
There
the
you go.
register. But I mean, it's kind of no, we've never had a problem. But I don't have I don't have a gun or anything. I'm not strapped, so it's like that's just in case I ever have a problem. But you know
Yep.
what I really use it for? I kind of use it
Oh.
for my set up my swing, and I have customers that walk in all the time. They're like, "Man, you really are addicted to golf." I'm like, I am. I
Yep.
love it.
Oh yeah, if you got it there, it's got a dual purpose. I love that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let's get back into golf and some of your and teaching. What would you say some of the biggest mistakes amateur golfers make? Like the everyday amateur golfer. What's like the most common mistake that you like to fix?
Okay, so I'm going to go out and say this. The amateur golfer, biggest mistake is not a golf swing. The amateur golfer thinks they hit the ball a little bit farther than they do, and they judge their distances off of that one time that they absolutely flushed it, right? They flushed it, and they don't take enough club because
Club up.
most amateur golfers are not absolutely flushing it. And then you add that in, and there's no game management around the green, right? So amateur golfer doesn't have the awareness to say, okay, there's nothing behind this green. If I go long, I'm safe. But there's a pond in front of the green, and they hit it in the pond. They don't have the awareness of where can I miss, where can I not miss. They just say, 150 yards, pin in the right-hand side. I hit my 8-iron 150 yards 4 years ago, that one time downwind. Even though I average 125 yards with it, I'm going to try it, and they end up in the pond in front, and their round is destroyed. That's the biggest thing.
And don't be. I mean, listen, I'm the first to say it. I will use my hybrid when I'm like, if it's like if it's like a 160 par 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I will pull out, especially if the pin's in the back, because I'm not very a long hitter. I'm more, nice, easy, smooth, just get it out there. But yeah, I don't. Some people are just feel funny using
Sure.
clubbing up. They're like, oh, I'm a wuss if I have to club up. I'm like, dude,
Sure.
whatever
Who
works,
cares?
man. Get it to the green.
Absolutely.
You got to get it there. Absolutely.
I teach a lot of very good junior golfers here in Las Vegas. I'm not in Las Vegas now, but in Vegas, I have a lot of really good junior golfers, and I go out and play with them. And, there's this kid Nick and this kid Tyler back in the day. They started playing with me when they were young, and I'd outdrive them, and they'd probably look at me and be like, oh, I want to hit the ball so far. And then, they get into, freshman, sophomore year of high school, and I'm a big speed development guy, and they're blowing it by me, right? You see these kids, they get into 160-yard par 3, and they're choking down on 9-irons, hitting pitching wedges, and I'm sitting there, choking down on a 7, blasting an 8, and I realize I'm not as far as them. Yeah. As long as I can beat them, I don't care.
Right. The name of the game is getting the ball in the hole sooner than your opponent, man. Lower score. That's it.
There's no ego about hitting the ball far for me. I mean, hitting the ball far when I'm developing players is the name of the game now. Distance is so much more important than fairways hit at the highest levels now. With the way clubs are built, if you're 40 yards closer than your opponent coming out of the fringe or coming out of the rough at the highest level, you're going to have an advantage on the guy you're competing against. So I train distance all day, but I'm never going to get there. So I just got to figure out how to get it done.
Lift more weights.
Right. I'm going the wrong way age-wise.
Oh man. So you just said you're on the road right now. You're not home in Vegas. Tell me a little bit about what it's like, life on the road, man. I mean, because you have, man, tell me how many schools do you have on a schedule for the season? I mean, how many?
This year, I'll probably do around 100. I'm doing a 2-year tour cycle, and the cities on the list there's about 211 cities. So, some cities I'll add extra events. And I just did 2 in Dallas about a week ago. So, I had 2 in Houston, but it's a lot of hotels, which I like. I will say, now that I have Max with me, he's younger than me. He's in his early mid-20s. So different idea of a good time going out. You think about your early 20s now, but it's nice to have someone there on the road with you. It could get mighty boring and lonely, like going from city to city for 3 weeks all by yourself. There's a lot of going, right? I
Sure.
wake up, do a golf school, then I have to either fly, take a train, occasionally drive to the next city. So there's a lot of going, but there's 3-4 hours where you're sitting there in the hotel after all that going and you're like bored as can be. So,
Do you and Max ever get a chance to get out and get around in yourselves in between, or?
We were gonna play in Tulsa with one of my players the other day. That would have been my second round of golf in a year span. I don't get to play much anymore. And then we had massive thunderstorms come through and absolutely drenched the course, and we had to fly to San Antonio midway through the day. So that round went away. But occasionally we'll get out and play. I'm just kind of at the point now where, my game has slipped. I used to be able to shoot under par, and now when I'm playing, I'm just trying to break 80. Like, I went out there with one of my former players who's now just plays amateur golf. Used to play professionally. He flew into Vegas, and I played with him like 4 months ago, and I played with Max. And this guy threw up a 61 on me. Max threw up 63, and I shot like 77 and was okay with it.
Right.
So I can't compete with the amount of time that I have to put into my game. So there's not much fun playing. Maybe I'll get to a point in life again. I know a lot of buddies of mine that coach that are just like, I want to get my game back, and they put in the work to do it. I mean, I am just so busy in life. I don't have that time.
Oh, I know, man. I mean, listen, even me, well, first of all, I'm upstate New York, so you already know upstate New York.
Yes.
Our season is short. We do have the indoor simulators. We have a lot of those around here, so we stay swinging in the winter. But I have 2 kids. They're busy. They got gymnastics, softball coming up. It's like, I'll be lucky if I even get out now. I'll have a season pass at Fair Park, but I'll be lucky if I get out twice a week. Which my wife, she'll say, isn't twice a week enough? I'll be like, you have no idea, babe. My friends are members of clubs that they're out every day after work playing around, before they get home for dinner.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, it does. And most good golfers, most of them are from the warm weather states where they get to play all year long.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, and I've said this before. Any golfer, even if you have a short season, that can get out twice a week has it in them to be shooting in the 70s regularly. If you can simplify everything and let them understand what they do, they should be in the 70s easily. If you want to be the player shooting 67, 66, that is an everyday endeavor, or close to every day, and you need to be going year round with that endeavor to get really elite at golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really the low doesn't, like, when it comes to the low scoring, it really comes down to the short game. Putting and the pin hunting. That 150 and in, when you're shooting darts, you see these guys on tour, they're throwing the ball within 3 feet of the hole, with backspin, putting it to tap in birdies. It's like,
I'll actually go out and say that's a bit. That's what we all think they do. They are in the way golf is covered on TV, right? They show those fantastic shots, and we all get this idea that they're diming it in there close all the time. Yes, they have the ability to, but it's not really that pretty. Like, proximity is over 20 feet for most clubs. So, and you know, Tiger Woods inside 100 yards only hit the green 90% of the time.
Right.
You know, we just see it on TV when they're throwing darts, and there's weeks where you're on, right? There's weeks where you absolutely got those guys just have the ability on a bad day to shoot 69, 70 and make some cash. And then they have those weeks where they're all over TV shooting 61, 62. And when you're doing that, you're throwing up a lot of those 3, 4, 5, you know, foot approach shots. So
well, here you just hit the nail on the head. we don't see it all. They only show us the good shots. But here's a little I've talked about this before on one of my podcasts. PGA Tour professionals have putting distances percentages going down as they, you know, as the foot. So 2 feet they're at 99%, 3 feet they're at 96%. Then that goes to 4 feet they're at 88%. 5 feet goes down to only making 77% of the putts. At 10 feet, which doesn't seem like that far, for a PGA pro, they only make 40% of the putts.
Yeah.
So then it goes 15 feet, 23%, 20 feet, they only make 15%. So yeah, we're seeing these, the TV shots, the long 20 footers, but they're only making, you know, 15% of those.
I saw Kevin Na at the Shriners. Now it doesn't exist, but I saw Kevin Na probably 5-6 years ago drain 6 putts in a round that were probably over 70 feet. And I think that may have been, I'd have to look it up, but I feel that has to be one of the most impressive. Like there's a stat somewhere about how many feet of putts you make, right? So the total feet of your putts, that has to be one of the greatest. You never see anything like that. And, you know, you have to realize most of those tour players on an average golf course, they're par fives, they're getting home in 2 most of the time, right? They hit the ball so far. So there's 4 birdies right there. But everyone thinks that those tour players are just making birdie after birdie after birdie after birdie on every hole. They're not. They're missing a lot of putts. They're a lot more human than the average golfer thinks they are.
Absolutely. Speaking of human and Kevin Na, have you ever seen him when he went the other way and he got like I think it was like a 16 on that one hole where he got stuck in the woods and then he couldn't get out?
In San Antonio.
Is that where it was?
Yes, years ago. Yeah. I don't know. That was one of those balls that it's like, what are you trying to do, man? Like,
no, man.
you can watch him do it.
And
Yes.
or just take the re-tee and take the 3, dude.
Absolutely.
I think I don't know what it was just, I mean, he just after 5 or 6, he was just like playing like backyard. He was just like smack.
Oh yeah. Well, he knew his tournament was done because of that. But I mean, if every pro, I don't care how good this will show you another regular golfer to pro comparison, right? Those guys are so elite, so on a different level than the regular golfer. But every golfer has sat there and looked at a lie and said, I can do that. I've seen Phil Mickelson absolutely in the rough try and hit a 3-wood out the rough and have the ball go 8 yards, right? Everyone has sat there and looked at a shot and thought they could do something. It doesn't matter how good you are. Kevin Na is a great example of it. He went into the woods there. I don't even know, the San Antonio's version of woods, and probably saw what looked like something he could pull off, and then, you know, no chance.
After disaster.
Yes.
I know.
And then you get so hard-headed and you keep going after it, and before you know it, you make a 16. They're the same as us.
10 cup, baby. 10 cup.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
Like you get in your head, man, I'm gonna do this. But all right, let's get back to the school and the coaching. I like asking pros questions. What's like one thing that's this week right now someone could work on even at their house to shave a stroke or 2 this season? What's the first thing? Even if it's just a mind thing, anything.
You know, a good tip for the average golfer at your house This is a fun one. Winter's ending, but let's say you're still in one of those, you're up in Canada where it's still snowy. You can sit on your carpet and do start line drills with your putter. Work on getting the ball started on line. That's half the battle. I've always said the average player, the average 20 handicap, can't read a green. And then when he reads the green, he can't get the ball started online, And then if he gets the ball started online, he probably doesn't have good enough speed to control it. If you can improve one of those, you're instantly going to start making more putts.
Have you ever seen one of these things?
I have. Yep.
The line lion.
Yep.
It's an interesting it is an interesting tool because I'll tell you what, it tells you if you're not hitting it online. I have fun with this. I have a little mat here and I get to practice all winter long. Do you have any other?
I make all my players draw lines on their balls and see it going end over end, on straight putts, and make sure it's not wobbling. Yeah.
So would you what would you say a good drill now on the range for us all range goers is? I mean, everybody just wants to go out there and whack the driver and hit it as long as possible. But really, I mean, you see guys out there putting alignment sticks out there. You see guys out there really, getting in tune. Give me a good drill I could do on the range.
I'll give you two.
Okay.
So one drill that I would do for both of these, like you say, laying down alignment sticks. Lay down your foot line and your ball line so you can make sure they match. And now everybody's different. Some players are going to be better closed off to a ball. Some will be better open. But if you go to a coach and you find your matchup, lay those down so you know that you're setting up properly and you're building your right field. You can. I always tell people, grab the Watson golf hanger. Most players are hitting the slice, right? You grab that hanger. I'm not sponsored by them anymore. It's just one swing aid that I've always loved my players using. But you use that aid, force your wrist angle to be more flexed out than you're used to, and you're going to clean up your slice, which the average player struggles with, right? So that's the tip that's going to hit the vast majority of players. The next thing I would do is take a, alignment stick, put it about 10 yards downrange, and practice starting the ball right, starting the ball left, starting the ball right at it, but use that as a start line drill so that you can, take your start line ability to the golf course. I think a big problem a lot of players have, right, is they will get in here and let's say they have a fade. They could play that. We'll call it a power fade. I don't want to accuse people of slicing, but a lot of people could play that power fade, but their start line is just like right at the pin, and then it power fades off of that into a creek. If you can manage your start line and know where it's going to start, a lot of players would quickly cut down on strokes.
Yeah, I mean that's me. I got that power fade, and that's why I only hit the ball 250 because I definitely lose distance with that power fade, which is sometimes a slice that's my miss. But I'll tee the ball up all the way to the right of the tee box, so I feel like I have a little more room on the fairway, and then I pick my line. But I just feel like that's another wrong move. I mean, I would love to have that draw. I would really love to have that draw and get more distance, but I'm just more comfortable with the swing, and I got my line and I just put it out there. I might be 20 yards shorter than the guys I'm playing with, but
I put a post up on Instagram because I'm away, so I didn't have any more content, but I just took a picture of a quick little video of a guy coming over the top. And I talked about the reason most people slice the ball. Now, your average golfer is sitting there thinking that they hit that power fade. And this is where I think I differ from a lot of coaches, right? So a lot of coaches will attack the slice, right? By getting a drill over and telling you to flip your hands at it, like put the dump under draw. I use the dump under draw. If you're a regular of mine in Vegas and you come in with a massive slice, I'm going to instantly set up that drill, get you flipping your hands, and let you see a draw, right? No player does that drill and then takes that to the golf course and eliminates their slice. Okay. And the reason most people are slicing a golf ball is because of something early on in their backswing. I say 75% of slices are created by the first 2 feet of the backswing. You know, once you start applying forces to the handle that either open the face, get the club head too far inside, or both, you know, you're going to try and search to get that center of mass of that club light. So you start standing the club up late. In a lot of cases, like the guy who goes flat generally stands up and tips the shaft this direction. That club keeps going out to the golf ball, and lo and behold, you're coming over the top, trying to do anything you can not to hit the ball 100 yards left. So the answer is start to tilt back, lean that face open, and then you just hit your big, high, weak fade. But the true root cause of that slice happened in the first 2 feet of the backswing. So giving somebody a drill that forces them to hit a draw gives them an idea of what they can do, but that's not it's not a great way to improve them. You got to find the root cause of fixing it. So I guarantee you, if I saw your swing, you're probably missing what the root cause of it. And there can be so pressure, your balance points, you know, like my favorite one to go after with that I see a lot of posts about is early extension, right? I see golf fitness trainers talking about, oh, well, if you strengthen your hamstring or, you know, whatever they're trying to strengthen. I see a lot of coaches where they'll put somebody's head on the wall and try and get them to feel swinging underneath. That doesn't address the main issue. Most players are early extending because the shaft is too vertical and you have to do something to kick the center of mass behind your hands to have a chance. So early extension saving that player. You know, you're getting in with a club face that's wide open. You have to stall your body out to try and get your hands to cross over. So I don't know. That's just an example of functions and matchups and the fun in the golf swing, trying to figure it out.
No doubt. So what's one thing golfers spend way too much time on, and it really, they shouldn't. Doesn't matter. They every golfer does it.
Incorrectly trying to learn how to hit the ball farther.
Yeah, there you go, man. You don't have to you don't have to crush the ball, right?
Let me. I would love for you to crush the ball farther. Learning how to do it correctly.
There you go.
Yes, they spend time just trying to as hard as you possibly can, and that's not how you hit a golf ball.
No, I mean that's when I look at the ground. So that's usually when I lose it, man. Is when I try swinging too hard. I mean, 90% of the time, it's like swinging out of my shoes and it's gone.
You bring up swinging out of your shoes. I have always used the analogy, if you want to hit the ball farther, you better learn how to swing out of your shoes. And, you know, when we say swing out of our shoes, that's because speed, a lot of speed is created from the ground, right? And players try and create that speed from up here. And the second you try and create the speed in your upper body is the second your swing is done. Yep. You actually want to feel is there's braking actions going on in your swing, you know, hitting the brakes. There's a lot of vertical forces going from the ground through impact, right? Like I talk about in my golf schools, up, down, up, right? We're loading big backswing, then we are engaging the ground, and then we are getting up if we're trying to create speed. And most people don't even have the slightest comprehension that the speed comes from the ground, and they just sit there on the driving range and swing their arms as hard as they can at the ball, and nothing happens.
Do you ever see that? Do you ever use that? It's like a teeter. It's like the thing you stand on to get you to work on shifting your weight.
I've been sent them, but no, I don't. I have other drills that I use. I like players to engage with the ground and feel the ground, and you know, because there's a lot of torque force being created with your feet that can't create. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I like to simplify things for golfers. Like I'm sitting here talking about torque force and all that stuff. I may briefly talk about it in my golf school, but I'm trying to create real world scenarios that a player can feel and grip. And, that just, to me, it can take care of lateral movement, right? There is some lateral, there's some vertical, there's rotary. But that just focuses to me on the lateral braking. So,
Gotcha. All right, let's bring up. I wanted to bring up your schedule, and you are coming to our neck of the woods in June. But first off, this is your next stretch of courses. Why don't we talk about where you're heading next?
next golf school will be in Louisville. And that actually just sold out today.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
good to hear.
So,
Nice.
we still got a couple spots in Cincinnati and St. Louis. Everything else on that list is sold out. I got to get with my social media guy to put sold out next to those.
There you go. Now, is that Max too? Is that your does he
That
run
no,
it?
it's a
Okay.
gentleman named Jake who runs all
Okay.
my social
Oh, you gotta
media.
love it. You
Very
gotta see,
good.
man. I do it
Yeah,
all
we do.
myself, man. I do all my editing. I do all my social media. I have a couple.
Yeah.
So I have a couple co-hosts that I bring on especially when I don't have guests, that we'll just
Yeah.
talk about our rounds of golf. It's like
Sure.
basically my force. I mean, we talk about how bad we played, basically. It's fun.
Yeah, my life is too busy to do it all myself.
And then
So,
the month of May looks pretty busy for you. You got
Yep.
Memphis, Arkansas, Salt Lake City, Utah, Denver. Man,
Yep.
and I'll tell you what, this is pretty cool that you get to just travel and do this. These are some beautiful cities you get to see too. I mean, you don't get
I do.
to. You said it. You really don't get to stay there long because you're so busy. You're, but
I get time to go out and eat in quite a few cities and drink and lightly drink at this point in my life. But I get out and about in the town and have nice meals in all of them, and
Good.
I
Well, this-
I get to see it.
then, I mean, and then you got, especially when you got 4 in a row, May 21st to the 24th.
That's gonna be busy.
That's gonna be busy. I was just down in Philly. I was just down there heading down. We visited a friend of my friend on the way to Virginia to a golf tournament. We got ourselves a cheesesteak. You got to get a Philly
you go.
cheesesteak when you're in Philly, man.
Been
And then let's
there,
talk
done
about
that.
June.
Yep.
Let's talk about the main event here. What course are you coming to June 2nd in Albany, New York?
Capitol Hill.
Yep, that's right
Yep.
in our backyard. Capitol Hills is a great track.
I'm very impressed that I actually remember that. And so
Yeah.
when Max tours with me, I tell Max his job is
Yeah.
to tell me where to be and when to be there.
So that's the Muni course in Albany. I'll tell you what, all the Muni courses in our area, they do a great job. I don't know if other states are the same way with Muni courses. If they take care of them as good as probably, but like the 3 in our area, Capitol Hill, Schenectady Muni, and Freer Park, which is Troy's Muni. All 3 of them are gems. They really are. They do a great job, and the price is right. As well. So
a lot of my peers go to really high end venues when they do events. I'm the only one who travels like this, but they'll go to really high end clubs. I like to keep it more affordable clubs so I can keep the price point down, because I want to be able to work with as many regular golfers as I possibly can. And, traveling, all that's expensive. So it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but I'm not trying to charge thousands of dollars to work with me. I want to be able to work with the everyday golfer.
yeah, no, that's definitely the way to do it. So for the listeners, tell the listeners what they have to do, especially I get most of my listeners are from my Golf Week tour. I get about 150 to 200 listens an episode, but you're going to get all the people in the upstate area. So let's see if we could get a couple people that listen to the show to one of your
Yeah, I'd
schools
love
in
to have
Albany. Tell me what they have to do. Tell what do they have to do to sign up?
You can go to seahourgolf.com and click that, or you can catch me on Instagram or Facebook, seahourgolf.com. Send me a message. I'll get you the info.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, kind of interested myself, so maybe I'll. I think
We'll get something for you. We'll get you out there.
Awesome, man. I mean, I don't have any. Is that a weekend? The only thing that would cause me not to be able to do is weekdays are really tough for me. So if that's
I could not tell you what day.
Literally.
Yeah.
Let me look real quick. Because I mean, then you're out of here right after that. You're heading to Syracuse. So
Yep. We're running down towards
what's
Buffalo.
awesome. What's do you know the course in Syracuse for any of my West Coast listeners?
I believe Timber Banks, I want to say.
All right,
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, man, you have a lot of courses to remember.
Yes.
For sure. So what was that date? Let me bring this back up. June 2nd. Yeah, it's a Tuesday, and I'm assuming it's during the day.
10 to 4.
Yeah, man. I'd have to. My old man just retired like 6 months ago. So when I take I have 2 weeks vacation that I take with the family. We'll go away or whatever, and that's the time. That's the time I use for my old man to come in and cover the shift. But I'm a weekend warrior, man, when it comes to golf. And then after work, usually I at least get 9 in over at Freer Park one of the days of the week. Especially the long summer days. So it's awesome. But Chris, this was a ton of fun. I really appreciate us getting this episode in, and hopefully a couple of the listeners, will show up to your class, man. I'd love to have them. And I have let's see, hold on. I do like to finish my episodes. I have to do this, man, with my 3 Spitfire questions. I'm ahead of myself. Let's do our 3 Spitfire golf questions. All right. This is one of my favorite ones. If you had a dream foursome, 3 golfers could be dead or alive, who would you pick? Doesn't have to even necessarily be golfers. It could be anybody.
My dad, Phil, and Tiger.
I love it. That's a great. I love that you threw your dad in there, man.
I just want to hear Phil and Tiger talking smack while me and my dad just listen to it.
Right? That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Phil, man. Phil talks a ton of smack.
Oh,
I feel like Tiger, you would just be in such awe watching his game, just growing up, how amazing he was. I don't know how much Tiger. Well, now the new Tiger definitely talks shit. The new Tiger talks trash. Tiger 20 years ago, I feel like he was just
locked,
game on, didn't talk to anybody, right?
I've seen him play in person a ton. He had it. I grew up in DC, and he had his event there. I saw him at the President's Cup a bunch. That dude just locked in. I want to play with the current Tiger. I don't want to play with that locked in Tiger. That would be so boring. I want to hear him talking smack.
That's true. I mean, you're kind of against. Do you watch any of that? What is it, the TGL? Is that what it's the indoor? There might.
I have. Yeah, I know he came back yesterday and played, which gets me thinking we're going to see him at Augusta.
I think we are. I just hope. Yes. What always gets him, I feel like, is that walk. It's you're cooked. You're cooked after a couple of days of that walk, and he's got the game. He's always going to have the game, but golf is better with Tiger there. Golf is better when Tiger's playing it. I don't care what you say.
The march down for the next 20 years, even if he can't compete anymore, I'll still watch Tiger Woods.
Listen, I said I was one of the ones saying in 2016 that he's done and washed up. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, unfortunately, I think we've seen the end of Tiger, and look what he did in 2019.
I was not one of them. No. I thought Tiger, I said in 2014, 15 that he might still get close to Jack's record, even when he wasn't winning. I thought he had it in them. I think we are now at the point where.
Let's go.
Tiger. Well, I think we're sadly at the point where I.
It's over. It's over. Yes. No, all right. I thought you were going to say he's on for the comeback. Come on, man.
Well, you never know.
I just think Tiger. I think you'll just see him coming out with the majors, man, and I think you might see him win 1 or 2 here and there, man. And
Tiger is the type of guy who needs the one tournament rep. If Tiger Woods could somehow be in good enough shape to play 2 weeks before his major, go into a major, you could see, no one ever thought Phil would win again, and he won the PGA, right? And now he's the oldest major champion of all time. Tiger has something about him that he could put himself in position and then have people around him, see Tiger and then stumble their way, just like his when he won it at Augusta last time, right?
Mhm.
He just put himself there, and everyone said, "Oh God, it's Tiger," and they gave it to him, and he took it. When he had that chance, he said, "I'm going to take this," and he did. That was not a Tiger win from his heyday. If you look back at when
No,
Tiger won,
he grinded.
yeah, he grabbed it, and you just said, "Oh, Tiger's going to win." Those guys gave Tiger a chance and a lot of opportunities, and Tiger took advantage of that and won.
Sure
I
did.
think we might have a chance to see him do something like that again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. As long as, like I said, that walk, as long as the legs could stay strong under, it's all on the legs, man. It's like if they could give, if Tiger would accept if they said the one person we're gonna give is a cart, and it's a Tiger, and Tiger accepted a golf cart, he'd be out.
He
there
never
crushing
will.
them all. Yeah,
He never will.
No, he won't. No, he won't. Of course, because
Never
he
will.
believes
Yeah.
in. No, he believes in the tradition of the game.
Yep.
For sure. All right, if you could, we were just talking about Tiger. If you could either play around at Augusta, okay, or have front row seats at let's say what the Masters, his first Masters on the 18th hole, and then shake his hand and get to meet Tiger Woods, what would you rather play? Actually just playing on Augusta, or actually being there for that epic moment as
Playing.
a golf fan? Playing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you that it's funny you bring that up. I have a rule, and I set this as a goal for myself. I will not go to Augusta National until I build a junior golfer to play in the Masters. I've had like 6 kids do drive, chip, and putt and make it there, which is pretty
That's awesome.
impressive throughout the years. But until I put a player in the Masters, I'm not stepping foot on the property. That was something I set when I was younger, and I'm regretting it now.
Oh man.
I have so much, I love that place. It's something I always love watching. And one of the members could ask me tomorrow, "Do you want to come play?" And I would say no.
You're gonna
I am one of those people that is so goal oriented. If I set a goal, the first time I step foot on that property, it will be coaching one of my juniors in the Masters.
I was gonna say, I know you said you're struggling. You say the 70s for you is struggling in a round, which I would love.
Oh yeah, well, if I could
But-
play there in the Masters, I would have done that, but that'll never happen.
What are you? Well, I was gonna say, what do you think right now, today, after golfing 2 times the past year? What are you shooting at? What are you shooting at Augusta?
Right now, 2 times, if I could putt, I bet you I could put up something in the 80s.
There you go. All right, that's good.
It's not Augusta is not that hard in terms of, like the US Open. If you're not absolutely precise off the tee and you hit in the rough, you're done.
You're screwed.
Right.
Yep.
It's done. Augusta is not that. Augusta is just good decisions and good placement into greens.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to put the ball in the right spot on a green, or it's so very tough. So I think the greens would be my biggest problem, but I am a very good putter. So, and
Yeah.
I do it in my golf schools. I can go out and I in Texas a week ago, I sat there and I hit 100-foot putt in front of my clients. And I was just talking about reading a triple breaker, right? The putt broke 3 different ways and I made the putt. So they're like, "Oh, you do that all the time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's easy." But I still have my ability to putt.
I heard it was a funny one. If you could get put on the green on like the far end of the green at Augusta on every hole, so have basically a 50-60-foot putt, but you're playing against Scotty Scheffler, and Scotty's playing from the tees, do you think you could beat Scotty Scheffler on those Augusta greens? It was obviously, I'm sure somebody like you, a good putter, have no problem. But there's people out there that are going to 5 or 6 putt every hole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I bet you he'd give me more of a run for my money than you think.
Yeah.
You're right now. I mean, that dude's just so elite. And here's the thing that most players, we talk about game management. there's going to be advantages in certain situations to not being put on the back of the green as far away from that hole as you possibly can, because you can hit a wedge on a lot of holes or short iron into the correct corner and not force yourself to putt over 5 different mounds,
Right.
which I will be doing on every hole. So he's got more of a chance in that than most people would give him credit for. You know.
What do you think about Scotty, man? I mean, I know we were talking about Tiger earlier. Is he the new or the next Tiger? I mean, there'll never be another Tiger ever. No. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
He is unbelievable. He is dominant. I love his swing. He's got that big wide arc in his swing. Really knows how to, fire, create speed effortlessly. Everyone sees him dancing all over the place, but he matches everything up. It's such in my mind, a magical golf swing. I love his swing. He is the most dominant player that we have seen since Tiger. I bet you when all is said and done, him and Phil will be in the conversation. I think Phil is one of the best players of all time, and people don't say that. He's at least top 12, probably. Scotty is going to be in that conversation when all is said and done. Maybe better.
Phil's short game is just stupid good. Like,
yep.
Anywhere around the greens, that guy still amazes me.
Phil's got some of the best hands and best mechanics, best matchups I've ever seen, and some of the shots he can play. Phil is Phil because he's so creative. I'll tell you a quick Phil story. I'll never forget this.
Please, yeah.
I was down at the Booz Allen Classic at Congressional when I was a kid. Me and my dad went to that tournament. I was probably still in high school. It was one of the days I went with him. I went with my buddies the other day. And on the second hole, or the third hole, Phil bounced one into my dad, bounced it off of him in the trees, hits this big hook around the trees, right on the green, 2 putts for par. And I think he came in like 3rd or 4th in this tournament. Something he had a decent finish, top 10 for sure. Next hole, he bounces the ball off my dad again and goes into a tree. And this one's on a par 5. Like a semi-island. There's water around the green, right? And he goes into the tree, and it's one of these, like, I don't even know what you call it, but the branches and the leaves go all the way down on the ground. So when he walks through the branches, you can no longer see him in there, right? And Bones is standing on the other side, and Bones gives him a start line, right? And you're like, okay, he's just going to punch out in the fairway. And they clear people out of the way, so we think he's punching out, and you just hear this, goes through the trees, lands on the green.
Wow.
And we're like, this is a par 5, second shot into a par 5. And we're like, what in the world? And Phil just walks out. He's like, pretty good, huh? And then just starts walking out there. And, that was seeing that shot, the creativity and the guts that Phil Mickelson has. I don't think he has a very good functional golf swing. I think he has outperformed his golf swing by a lot. But it's just his guts and his, get it done and figure it out and have fun and be creative that makes Phil. And it's just been awesome to watch,
His famous shot out of the pine straw, too, at Augusta. Yeah. I don't remember what one it was, but that was a par 5 as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he nutted it, man. And
yeah,
it was like nobody could believe it. Like, is he really doing this out of the pine straw?
I was a guy who could miss a fairway with the best of them. So I enjoyed Phil and watching him recover. And I was good at recovering, nowhere near as good as him. Obviously, that's why I'm teaching golf. But watching some of the shots he could hit, he everyone talks about how creative Bubba Watson is. Bubba and Phil are the 2 most creative players of that generation. And Tiger's up there too, but I think those lefties.
Do you think lefties can do more with the game just because of that natural? Would be left to right. They got that, lefties really well. They say Augusta really plays well for lefties just because of all the dog legs as well, right?
Yeah, they say that, but every player has their predominant shot shape, right? Yeah, some players, some right-handers are going to draw it, some are going to fade it. Yeah. We've heard all those all those. Yeah, this is a right-handers golf course. No, do you hit a draw? Do you hit a fade? Does it match that? Holes are built for certain shots.
Yeah.
And if that's your shot, here's one good thing for listeners that they don't think of. Most good players, elite players, have one shot that they go to. They're not hitting, elite draws, fades, straight shots on command. They have one go-to shot, and most people think they can hit them all at an elite level. They don't.
No, it makes sense, man. But what do you think? Last question, talking about like PGA players. Who do you think is like a new upcoming golfer that's really going to show up the next couple of years? That's really, I like that Ash. I mean, he's kind of been out for a little while. I like that Ashke, another lefty, Batia. He's fun to watch.
He would be my one I'd be watching. He used to work with Genghis, so I've seen his game since he was really young and really elite, and he came out of the ropes the wrong direction. Right when he got started, it went the wrong way fast. But he has turned it around. He's got a hell of a lot of game.
Yeah,
and it'll be really interesting to watch over the next 5 years what he can do. He's going to be a player.
So wiry, man. You see the way he swings, just like, wow, man. I wish my body could move like that. It's unbelievable. Sometimes it's just sometimes the guy, if you got it, man. And then another one I like is oh God, what's his name? Butterup. Starts with a B. Last name. God, he's won a couple already this season. Smaller events. Gutter. I'm sorry, Gutter up. Starts with a G.
Okay.
Gutter up. Or
yeah,
I can't never pronounce it, but he's got a good stick too.
I have not this season. I part of that website you were clicking on. I have a new subscription site that's coming along with that, and I have spent the last 4.5 months of my life filming 40 hours a week for that. So I have missed. Ashke winning was the first PGA Tour event that I actually saw who won. I have no idea what's happening.
Well, let me see. Do you have? Oh, you don't have. Okay. Did you purposely not plan any events until after the Masters? It looks like you have the weekend of the Masters off. I think. Does it start? I think the Masters is April 9th, 10th, and 11th. I want to say.
April 9th, 10th, and 11th. I have events. That's Louisville and. You
got 11th. You're at 11th at Louisville. So the 11th, you're out. So you 9th and 10th, you'll be able to watch Thursday and Friday. Then the 11th, you have Louisville.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
I don't miss Sunday.
You're a busy man. You'll have to watch the highlights. You'll have to watch all the highlights.
Yeah, right. I have missed the last 6 Masters because of golf schools.
But you love it. As long as you love it and you're enjoying it, that's awesome, man. All right, one more time. Where can all of my listeners find you, Chris?
chowardgolf.com. Howard Golf on any social media platform. I'm there.
Awesome, man. Well, Chris, again, I really appreciate you for coming on the podcast. I'm glad we got it in, and maybe we'll meet up in Albany. I look forward to chatting with you some more.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you, all the listeners, again, for tuning in to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast. We'll catch you all next time.
Hot dreams fill the breeze, fairways calling down the tees, roll it smooth, the ball